It's ironic. European media spent months warning football fans about a terrifying America. And then after the 2026 World Cup, the only thing to be afraid of here is the thousands of Europeans tossing and turning in sleepless nights, clutching their American-style paper cups, and refusing to face reality. They're exclaiming, "America, what have you done to me?"
That Europeans are going to hate America after the World Cup. Because after spending a few weeks here, they're going to have to go back to Europe. And that...
What a place. What a place. I never want to go home.
The hospitality and simulated abundance of America have quietly dismantled their defensive shield. And then when they return, they realize they have fallen in love with their own free, happy version of America. Forget the dry political analyses. Right now, we will uncover the psychological manipulation secrets of America, the small things that can break even the proudest European when they return. Don't take your eyes off the screen, because the truth behind it will leave you astonished. Step into the first secret weapon that completely shatters the European defense barrier, the cold. But not the cold of winter, rather the cold from high-capacity air conditioners.
The craziest thing here in America. So it's blazing hot outside. But look at this. I'm going to step into this establishment and it's chilly. It's hot outside, but when you step in, it's like a winter's day.
Do you find it funny? Americans consider air conditioning as natural as breathing, but for the British or Europeans in general, they call it a privilege of the upper class. It may sound exaggerated, but this is a real cultural shock. In Birmingham or London, good luck finding an air conditioner in ordinary households. The European housing design mindset leans toward thermal retention to withstand long winters, combined with strict policies for preserving ancient architecture and a very rigorous energy-saving mentality. What are the consequences? The old power grid can't handle it, and installing a central AC system is extremely complicated and expensive.
Okay, so we've been in America for 2 weeks now, and we've noticed
I'm bloody sick of it, by the way.
we've noticed that you guys think it's actually hot out here.
It's not. It's not.
You literally have AC. We don't do AC. You go into Birmingham, you go into London, you won't find AC in these houses, We don't do that out there.
So, when summer hits 35 degrees Celsius, Europeans have only one weapon: opening the windows wide and praying for a breeze. If it gets too hot, they have to run into the house, fill a tub with cold water to soak themselves and cool down. You heard it right. That's how they survived the summer. So when they arrived in America, stepping into the World Cup stadium in the summer noon, which was as cool as stepping into a refrigerator, their brains were immediately shocked. So when the tournament ends, they have to fly back to their stifling rooms at home, lying on their backs and gazing at the ceiling, yearning for the deep chill of America. I swear to you, that is truly a psychological blow. If you are an American audience sitting in a cool room and watching this video, hit the like button to share this privilege with your European friends. And don't forget to hit subscribe because we have 4 more Ultimate Weapons of America to reveal soon. Now, let's switch from the chill of the air to the chill in the glass of water. We have an extremely cute sharing from an Eastern European girl who just moved to the US.
Also, I think one of the best things about America so far is something so small, but it's this. That might not sound a lot to an American, but as a Brit or as a European, seeing ice machines in every hotel and every restaurant having free refills is unbelievable to us. So yeah, absolutely love that.
This is a very subtle psychological touch that few people notice: the simulated abundance effect. From a sociological perspective, consumer culture in Europe is built on the principle, resources are finite. You enter a restaurant, you order a glass of water, you receive exactly one glass of water, and you must sip it with utmost reverence, drinking each drop cautiously because once it's gone, it's gone. Want to drink more? Pay extra. Even ice is given very sparingly because people calculate the operating costs of the ice machine. But what about in the US?
Tell me why I have only just found out that Americans get free refills when they go out for dinner. Yeah, literally go anywhere and you can get unlimited free drinks. This has never been a thing anywhere I have been in the UK, Europe.
I want to talk about free refill. Did you guys know that free refill, it's a very American thing?
America is a sanctuary of abundance. You order a soda, and they bring out a cup the size of your head, filled to the brim with crushed ice, along with a sweet question, would you like a refill? It's completely free. The constant availability of ice and unlimited refills of soft drinks unconsciously send a psychological signal to the brain. Life here is so easy. Resources are endless, and there's no need to worry or calculate anything. It's like a soothing addictive substance. America enchants tourists with ultimate comfort from the smallest things. So when they return, facing the reality where supermarket plastic bags are charged, ordering a glass of water without ice, and no one bothers to refill it for them, they immediately fell into a state of existential disappointment. They realized that America had quietly changed their standard of living.
American things Europeans think are weird.
Americans like a lot of ice in their drinks, and the rest of the world really doesn't do this. In Europe, you have to ask for ice most of the time, and usually it's just a couple of cubes. We like our drinks cold, and we'd like a refill, please.
But the abundance of America doesn't just stop at air conditioners or refillable soft drinks. There are things larger, more magnificent, that directly turn everyday life into a true cinematic experience. Let's move on to the next part to see how America has gamified its infrastructure in such a way that British tourists exclaim, "They've turned everything into an amusement park!" Now, let's talk about why Europeans always feel like they are in a movie when they come to America. The answer lies in the extremely characteristic planning mindset of Americans. They like to turn the most mundane infrastructure into a top-notch entertainment experience, a trend known in urban psychology as gamification. Let's see how European tourists completely lose their composure just because of a car wash station.
This is an American car wash. Look at this. How fancy is that? Many countries you don't have all these lights and stuff, but American car wash, that hits differently. Ain't no way. America! They go full legal. $40 a month subscription. And Jonathan, he goes every day. Everything. You got everything done here. Look at that. I almost feel like my body is getting clean also. Wow.
Sounds funny, right? It's just washing a car. Does it really need to be that extravagant? But in Europe, washing a car is usually just associated with a bucket, a hose outside, or at most, an old, cramped automatic machine. Going to wash the car is like a daily obligation. In the US, they apply an entertainment mindset to it. Driving into an American-style car wash is not just to clean the car, it's a mini amusement park ride with dazzling light and sound effects. And this amazement doubled when he stepped into an ordinary university and came across a tennis court.
No way is this normal. This is a tennis pitch at college? It's literally got floodlights and a full-size stadium. That's insane.
In their hometown, a school sports field is often quite modest. But in America, it is a tennis court with large original grandstands and dazzling floodlights at night, resembling a Roman amphitheater. America tends to build everything on a grand scale. It gives tourists a powerful visual kick, making them feel that the settings in Hollywood movies are actually brought straight from real life. The gamification of infrastructure has even spread to highways. Let's watch the clip of a British girl as she shares what she misses the most after returning to her home country.
Taking my friend from Germany to Bakis for the first time. The European mind cannot comprehend. He shat his pants in the car 10 minutes later.
This place is huge.
Hey guys, Gas stations in the US, especially chains like Buc-ee's or Sheetz, are completely different from what the rest of the world defines as gas stations. In Europe, gas stations along highways are often small, dark, and just places to refuel and leave immediately. But in America, they are temples of convenience. They are thousands of square meters wide, with hundreds of gas pumps, dozens of lanes, hot food counters made on site, and long lines of self-serve soda machines. Stepping into such a gas station, personally choosing a gigantic cup at an extremely low price, transforms a mundane roadside stop into an exciting tour. This contrast creates a very profound psychological impact. It makes the experience of traveling on America's highways never boring, but rather a true adventure.
Biggest petrol station in the world. It's massive. I'm going to get lost in here. You're going to have to give me an air tag or something.
So when they return to their home country, facing the small, monotonous rest stops, travelers suddenly realize that their brains have been so pampered by America that they can no longer turn back. If you have ever wished to experience the feeling of stepping into these convenient temples of America, then don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button to continue exploring the intriguing cultural nuances with us. But the massive infrastructure and the giant cups of soda are just the outer shell. The true weapon that melts hearts and completely dissolves the coldness of Europeans lies in a much more subtle aspect. That is the art of charm stemming from the hospitality of the people here. Let's move on to the next part to see what made the typically reserved English people exclaim, "I am truly overwhelmed by their kindness." Welcome to the most powerful weapon that can disrupt the psychology of Europeans: the suspiciously excessive kindness of Americans. The English grow up with the concept called politeness of non-imposition, meaning being polite by not bothering others, maintaining maximum distance to respect their personal space. So, in England, it is normal for employees to be indifferent. In contrast, Americans, especially in the southern regions, adopt the positive politeness approach, being polite by actively narrowing the distance. They casually call a stranger by super affectionate terms like baby, sweetie, or honey. Not stopping there, this hospitality was taken to an overwhelming level when a British couple entered the Liberty restaurant in Alabama. When they went to pay the bill, they were astonished to find that the owner had covered the entire bill and even gave them a souvenir. The girl cried uncontrollably at the table because she was so moved by the kindness of people she didn't even know. The act of a stranger treating you like family completely shattered the inherent defensive barrier of Europeans. This charm also has an extremely special catalyst, a powerful currency that British tourists carry with them, sometimes without even realizing it: their accent. You see, Americans have an immense curiosity and hospitality toward foreigners. When they hear an English or Scottish accent, the locals' defenses immediately disappear, replaced by warmth and hospitality. They are ready to invite you over for a BBQ, volunteer to be your free tour guide, and some even offer to pay for your gas on the trip. European tourists coming to the US suddenly experience the feeling of walking like a true Hollywood star, where everyone wants to chat and help. However, everything really comes to light when the World Cup ends. They had to take a flight back home. Stepping off the plane in London or Edinburgh, they are immediately thrown back into reality, where everyone around looks down at the ground, everyone is in a hurry, closed off, and absolutely avoids eye contact with strangers. Returning to being a cold, nameless person after getting used to the warmth of the South. I swear to you, that feeling of emptiness is the reason they feel sad and disappointed after the World Cup. If you think this hospitality from Americans deserves a compliment, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is my greatest motivation. The hospitality and openness of the people are truly invaluable assets of America. However, there is another fact that also overwhelms the minds of Europeans when they come here. It is the vast geographical scale and the ridiculously high level of diversity of this country. Let's move on to the next part to unravel a paradox. Why does a country that embraces a miniature world like the United States make British tourists exclaim, "It turns out you don't need to go abroad at all"? Now, we will together break one of the most common stereotypes that Europeans often use to mock Americans. You are probably familiar with the joke, Americans are so lazy and ignorant that they can't even be bothered to get a passport to travel the world. However, when thousands of British tourists set foot here, they were astonished to discover a staggering geographical truth. What he said is not an exaggeration at all. Look at that map, guys. It's crazy, right? Their entire homeland, with all its history and major cities, is just about the size of a medium-sized U.S. state. From a geographical and social analysis perspective, this completely changes the game. Europeans take pride in the fact that they can fly for just 40 minutes and be in another country with a different language and culture. But Americans can do the same without a passport. America is not an ordinary country. It is a continent, a miniature world wrapped within a border. Do you want pristine white snow? There's New Hampshire. Do you want a sun-scorched desert, a Wild West cowboy? There's Texas. Do you want a sun-drenched tropical beach? There's Florida. Americans don't need passports, not because they don't want to explore the world, but because they already own the whole world right in their own backyard. It is this enormous scale that creates an extremely concerning obsession for any traveler who enjoys moving around. An English couple, after taking a trip through a small part of America, excitedly shared, "In just 2 weeks, we traveled from the peaceful, rustic lakes of New Hampshire to the luxurious Martha's Vineyard with its historic coastal villages. It blew our minds completely with the differences." The ecological and cultural diversity of America is so vast that just a few hours' drive can make you feel like you've crossed the border into a completely new country. In New Hampshire, it is a wild, rustic life where people dress simply, enjoying the mountains and tranquil lakes. But just a little further south, to Martha's Vineyard, you immediately find yourself in luxurious coastal villages, rich in diverse cultural history. This wondrous landscape shift occurs continuously and without pause. It creates a type of behavioral psychology called the passion for adventure. When your brain is continuously stimulated by new contexts and new experiences in just one trip, your level of satisfaction will be pushed very high. Then, when they return to their small home country, where the landscape from north to south doesn't have too many breakthroughs, European travelers suddenly fall into a feeling of confinement. They long for the endless highways, craving the feeling of waking up each day in a new world. If you are an American proud of your great country, or a traveler dreaming of taking a road trip through these landscapes, hit the like button and leave a comment sharing which U.S. state you want to visit the most. Your interaction is the best way to support the channel. The greatness of America's geography and infrastructure has truly opened the eyes of Europeans. However, the biggest shock, the one that truly left them unable to recover psychologically after returning home, was not in the numbers of land area. It lies in a profound crisis within their souls. They realize that America has completely changed them. Let's move on to the final part to decode the post-World Cup depression and why so many English people exclaim, "I don't want to go back to being the old version of myself." Now, we will delve deep into the very core of this entire syndrome together. When stripping away the layers of football, giant cups of soda, or air conditioning, what truly makes Europeans dizzy is an identity crisis. America, in an unconscious way, has redefined their inner human version. From a sociological perspective, this is an incredibly valuable insight. Why are people afraid of their own homeland? In Europe, society tends to operate according to long-standing norms, where individuals are often shaped to live in harmony with the collective, avoiding excessive prominence or recklessness. It creates a defensive filter layer that makes everyone hide themselves, afraid of judgment. But America is a completely different story. This is a land that worships individualism and breakthrough. In America, you are given a vast space to run at full speed, allowed to be confident, bold, and challenge your own limits. The existential depression of travelers when they return is not actually because they miss a place, but they are afraid of having to don the closed, cold defensive armor again to reintegrate into the old environment. They realized they had fallen in love with the vibrant and happy American version of themselves. And then, that psychological breakdown did not come from grandiose things. It sneaks into the most mundane details, breaking their last line of defense. Look at how this English guy is tossing and turning in his non-air-conditioned room. An English guy shared after returning from the US. In England, houses are built closely together in a row. I miss the porch in America so much that I could cry. The feeling of sitting on the porch, listening to the rain, hearing the sounds of nature, and watching the world go by. It breaks my heart because I know I will never have that here. Isn't it interesting? What breaks his heart is not the Statue of Liberty or the skyscrapers in New York, but just a wooden porch. America has quietly upgraded the entire concept of the standard of living in the minds of tourists. A natural smile from a stranger on the street, a glass of ice-cold water, a rocking chair outside a diner, or an open space in front of a house. All those seemingly trivial things have opened up a comfortable lifestyle that they had never experienced back home. America is no longer just a name on the map. It has transformed into a psychological state, a place where material comfort perfectly blends with spiritual freedom. And then, when those things are taken away, the old reality suddenly becomes strangely suffocating. If you are watching this video and empathize with the internal changes of those travelers, please give the video a like. And if you want to continue exploring profound stories about culture and people around the world with me, the subscribe button is always ready to welcome you. This World Cup has truly performed a miracle. It has given America a chance to prove itself against the world's prejudices. Let's move on to the final part to hear the emotional summary from those involved and see how the world has given America the flowers it deserves. The 1,000-mile journey of the World Cup will eventually come to an end, and the fans will have to return to the daily grind of work. However, what America leaves in the hearts of international tourists will last forever. For many years, the global media has relentlessly distorted, criticized, and spread negative prejudices about this country. But America did not choose to argue with dry political speeches. They chose silence, giving the world a chance to come, experience, and feel for themselves. And the greatest reward the Americans received was not the royalties or the sold-out tickets. Those are the tears of joy from Scottish fans, the songs pleading to stay from grown English men, and the respectful acknowledgement from the most skeptical European minds. America has received flowers completely deserved in only one way, by being true to itself, spreading kindness and unconditional hospitality. At this point, I would really like to hear your perspective. If you are an American, how do you feel when you hear these psychologically shattered confessions from Europeans? Is there anything about your country that they said completely accurately? If you are European or a traveler who has been to the US, what subtle weapon of the US has ever left you in awe? The cool air conditioner, the culture of free ice refills, or the hugs from strangers on the street? Feel free to leave your comments right below. I will read and discuss them with everyone. And if today's video provides you with interesting information and quality entertainment moments, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to be among the first to watch our next cultural decoding scripts. Your support is the greatest motivation for the channel to continue producing more polished content. The content in this video is compiled and edited based on reaction videos, sharing personal experiences of international tourists on social media platforms. The sociological analyses are for reference, entertainment, and reflect the subjective perspectives of those involved. The video does not represent the political views or foreign policies of any organization or country, and it does not aim to attack or belittle any culture. Thank you for watching the entire video. Hello, and see you in the next episodes.